How's it going, everybody? Welcome to the Dollar Menu Podcast. Today, I have my sister, Bria, joining me. Go ahead and introduce yourself.
Hi, Bria. That's it. That's all I got.
That's your intro?
Hey.
All right, so before we get started with this episode here, I want to give a special thanks to all the supporters that we've gotten. Us over here at the Dollar Menu appreciate everybody that has liked, commented, shared, just showed their support. It's been overwhelming, and I did not think that we would get to where we're at right now this quick. This podcast, this community that we're trying to build would not have been possible without each and every person that's out there watching. I also want to shout out a couple people here. We got Dave from last episode. He's here. Got my brother Corey. Got Brooke here. We got Jess, and then another Brooke here. We got Brooks everywhere. We appreciate the support. My cousin Anthony wanted to be here, but he is working to earn a couple extra dollars, so he won't be here. But enough with the intro here. Today, we are going to get into the topic of how my sister started liking chicks.
Yeah, something like that.
Something like that. I think this is a good topic to talk about because this kind of flows into the last episode, how we were talking about mental health. Would you say you're a part of the? Are you gay?
No.
So what would you call yourself?
Not gay.
So what are you?
Just not gay.
So what are if you like chicks? What do you?
No, I'm totally gay.
So are you part of the LGBT?
I'm flaming gay.
LGBTQ,
LGBTQRSTUVWXY and Z is me.
That's you?
Yeah.
All right. Well, that's the community that we're going to talk about here. So my sister, prior to joining this community, you got.
I was straight.
You straight? You got 3 little ones, right?
Yeah, I got 3 kids.
I knew that because I'm her brother.
Yeah, you did, and you're the uncle.
So before we get to how we got here now, let's kind of let's do a general, because you're not only are you a woman,
Yeah.
you're a woman of color.
Yeah.
You're in the military as well.
Yeah.
How do you feel? Do you feel as if being gay has hindered you or affected your career progression? Anything to that nature?
So I'm going to be totally honest. I haven't noticed much change with the treatment in the military, at least.
Mm-hmm.
This happened, my whole transition, I guess we can call it, happened while I was on deployment. And I think it happened slowly enough for people to not, it wasn't a drastic change, right, for the people that I was around. And I was around all military people that seen me since, day one to the end of it, right? I don't think it was like, I think everyone knew. I'm not going to lie. I think they all knew and they were just waiting for it. So funny story, on my deployment, when we first got there, I had people coming up to me basically asking if I was gay before I was still like, this was like day one in Texas, and everyone thought I was gay. So they knew before I did. Yeah. It wasn't until probably like 10 days after I got to Texas that like I was like, oh, maybe they were right, and maybe it's a valid thing. So
what you're saying, as far as like the support, before we dig too much into like when you got there, so the support with the military and just your general life with everything has been, you feel like you've been good.
I've had no issues. I mean, if anything, people are more happy that I'm finding myself. Yeah. And more supportive of that, because I feel like I had kids young. Yeah. I never got to learn myself. I never really experienced life. And then my deployment, given all the things that had happened during that time, I feel like I was able to find myself. And I don't know, I think people just really like that more than, just hiding who you are. You don't even get a chance.
What on what? On Facebook?
He broke it.
On TikTok? Well, that's a shame, huh?
Damn.
I was like, we're running into some technical difficulties here. We're up on Facebook.
BRB.
BRB.
So we're not on Facebook.
No, we're on Facebook, but only our friends could see us here. Give me 1
I
second.
don't have friends.
You can't share it. Can you see it if you go to just my profile?
It just says friends only. They tried to look at it through my page. It says content elevated.
I mean, she's on.
You gotta go on Facebook.
He's
Facebook
on.
And set your privacy settings to public.
I'm already on public. I got the business account.
Right there, it says friends only. It has just the heads, friends only.
Go to the thing that you shared and do the edit privacy settings.
Yeah.
Like
You have to
on
go to
the- on the
you have
actual
to go
thing.
on your phone. Jay, come here. Put your Facebook up.
I gotta log into Restream.
Twin, where have
Does
you
it privacy
been?
settings on the live?
Nobody.
Oh, I have
loves
to go
me
into the actual
like
live?
you
Yes.
do. Nobody gonna love me.
Sounds like kids are upstairs working in a child labor camp.
Okay.
We're so tired.
No,
Try it now.
they're working Shein up there.
We can work in the factory.
Yeah.
All right. So we got through those technical difficulties. I don't know why that auto set to that. But we should be good on Facebook now. Up on both. Appreciate it, Kurt. All right. We'll get this. We'll get this back. That's Kurt. He's Chief Kurt. I was deployed to Egypt with him. All right. So we talked about your support in the military and just your general life. How do you feel the support is from your family? Because I think that family and friends. Have you lost any family like to this? Have you lost any friends? How's that been since I guess you've come out?
Honestly, I never officially came out. I'm gonna just throw that out there. That never actually happened. It's just kind of like.
Did you feel you had to officially come out?
No.
Okay.
I mean, it just. I feel like the gradual change kind of just did it for everyone. Like everyone saw how I just changed. I don't know, but I haven't lost friends. I think I made more friends.
Yeah.
If anything. And as far as family goes, I don't necessarily know, other than like you guys, the immediate family. I don't know if it's known. So surprise.
So
Surprise. I'm gay.
surprise everybody. Bree is gay.
Yeah.
So I'll be honest with you, right? And I think our brothers in the room, and there's a couple people here that have been around a while. I'll be honest with you. I don't think that, in my opinion, when I look back at it, I feel like way back to the Osiris Vance days. You know what I mean? In high school, I feel like you have been gay that entire time. Like growing up, right? Middle school, high school. Was there any, was there any indication? Like, was there any feeling that prior to that deployment that you liked women?
100%. 100%. I feel like, first of all, you knew I was a tomboy, right?
Yeah,
Like,
definitely
not
tomboy
Osiris.
for sure. Yeah.
This, I was thinking about this the other day. There was this one situation, and it was like back when I was a kid or whatever, and you know, when you're a kid, like you explore like recreational things. Okay?
Yeah.
So anyway, I had come downstairs and you were going upstairs, and my hair was like this, and I'm a throw me under the bus. I get a little mustache. I got to shave every once in a while. I probably didn't shave it that day, but this motherfucker goes. We crossed paths, and he's like, "Damn!" Like, cause I look like a dude. Like, I remember that, and I'll never forget that day. He was like, "That's a man." Like, he whispered something crazy. I don't remember what it was. It was so long ago, but I just remember that, and like, I'm like, okay, I give off dude vibes, I guess.
Yeah,
I mean, I think so.
she was definitely she fit the definition of being a tomboy for sure.
Yeah, for sure.
For sure.
I think I owned it.
But all right, so let's backtrack here. What like admit that? You know what I mean? Like, why didn't it in high school, middle school? Was it because of just the general stigma of the public, or were you afraid of what people would think? Like, why did it take you until being an adult and deploying for that to come out?
I don't think I knew.
Okay.
You know, I don't think I had maybe thoughts, and I had like, you know, ideations of whatever, but I don't think I fully knew. And I think, so you know where we were raised, you
Yeah.
know where we grew up, you know what school we went to. We were like one of 4 black people in that school.
Yeah.
So maybe subconsciously in the back of my head thinking, oh, you know, black female, then comes out as gay, and I already had a friend group, right? So then that'd be like a big shock to them all.
Kurt May says he's proud of you for coming out.
Hey, thank you. Woo woo.
Appreciate that, Kurt.
Honestly, I just don't think I knew. I don't think I knew that I was. until it just took certain situations for me to start getting it in my head that maybe this was the route I wanted to go.
So what was the situation? Like what like during the deployment, what was
The
it that
defining
yeah,
factor?
yeah, that
Oh.
that defined. Yeah.
Oh, goodness. So there was a person that I had met, and I wasn't initially into this person at all until I found out. I don't know, like time went by, whatever, and they were into me, and then I like started just kind of thinking about being with that person, and I think that person is a big part of my whole adventure, I guess you can call it, because I feel like, genuinely speaking, if I didn't meet that person, I would not be this person I am today. As much as I don't want to admit that I give them that much credit,
Yeah.
I don't think that without that situation and without that event happening on my deployment, that I would be who I am right now. And I don't think I would have ever experienced things I have experienced that, like, without her. You know what I'm saying? And
Yeah,
it's like
yeah.
I don't want to give all that credit to one person because
Right.
it's just a part of it. But I'd still probably be married. Like, you know,
Yeah.
I would still be with my ex. I would still be married, and I probably just would have come home just living my life as I was with no change. But that event happened, and it just took me for a long ride. Long.
Yeah, yeah, it's definitely after coming back from that deployment. I mean, when I came back from Egypt was the first time. I came back from overseas. You were on your deployment, so we got to meet up in Texas, and it was interesting to see the change.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because it's one thing to see change in people through
Social media.
social media, yeah, and pictures and stuff. And granted, I've always had that inkling, you know what I mean? But you were a different person for sure.
Yeah.
So Kurt says, would you truly be happy if that never, like, and I was getting ready, that's a great question, Kurt. I was getting ready to segue into that. That change that happened in your life, right? Whatever sparked the catalyst, let's say that never happened. Your mental state right now, I know your background, you don't have to
Yeah,
give it all
yeah.
out. But where was your happiness level at? And then, but prior to that, we'll say, and then that change happened, and you got to the point you are now. Like, where's your happiness level at now, since embracing that side?
I feel free. I feel free. I'm happy. I'm genuinely happy. I don't think I have been genuinely happy for a very long time. And I always lived for other people. And on this deployment, I was able to live for myself for once. And I think that's where, living for myself, learning myself, honestly, is kind of what did it. I was able to do things I like to do and not care. And just, I never had that 21 experience, right? I was a mom at 20 years old.
Anthony says, how does the love from a man or a woman differ? Does it differ?
Oh, it definitely differs.
At
Least from my experience.
So that's a question. Me and Anthony were talking. I was actually going to use some of his questions.
Sure.
So he's saying, like, it's hard for anybody that hasn't experienced it to understand how love and feelings are between, and this even goes to man on man as well. But how do you feel a woman treats you differently than a man does? Like, what kind of, what draws you to that? Is it physical, or is it more than physical? Is there the emotional stability, or the emotional, I guess, trust, whatever's different between a man and a woman? Is that what brings you in?
So for my personal experience, and I can't speak for everyone because everyone's situation is different. For me, I felt more loved. I felt more taken care of, more understood, more listened to, more cared for with a woman. I feel like my past situations, those relationships with men were, it was a man. I mean, and I don't want to say whatever because everyone's situation is different, right?
This podcast, the family that we're trying to build here. There's say what you got to say.
Okay. So for me, it's like in a man and a woman relationship, the man is always, up here, right? Like, this is just my take on it. The man controls everything. They do the man things. They, whatever. And the woman's just like, not calling anyone, blah, 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 whatever. So, for me, it was equal. With a woman, it's equal. We're both women. We both, we share the responsibility of, okay, so you're feeling sick one day, I'm feeling sick one day, and like you just kind of, I don't know. I feel like it's more caring. Like, I'm trying to put it into words, but I just can't. I feel like just, yeah, like they understand. So like, for example, I was a stay-at-home mom.
Yeah.
Took care of all my kids, did it all by myself for quite a while. I would do all the things in the house, right? Like whatever. And then he would come home and expect more.
Yeah.
With a woman, it's like they understand that, okay, so say I'm a stay-at-home mom and she's out working.
Yeah.
Well, she's going to come home and we're going to do things together. Like, it's not like, oh, you need to do it because you were home all day. It's like, we're going to do it because we're a team. Like, it's more, I don't know, my situation, it's just more of a team for me.
Now, could you attribute a little bit of that, in your opinion, with the people that you've talked to, all the situations you were in, because you have grown up quick.
Yeah.
You had, when did you have the twins?
I had them at 20.
20, so you didn't really get that, I guess, that late teen, early 20s partiness out of you. Do you think that maybe it was just the people that you chose to be around, man-wise?
Yeah.
Or do you think that, and it's okay if you do, but do you think that's just like the standard as a whole, like the men kind of have that stigma? And it's hard to generalize that, right? Right. Because every situation is different, every relationship is different. But from your opinion, do you just feel that the man in some relationship, that's just kind of how the hierarchy has come about?
Yes.
Okay.
100%. And I've seen it in other relationships,
Yeah.
not just one I've experienced. It's just, some men are just blah. Like, meh. I don't know, I'm just, ugh.
No, and that's what Kurt says. Kurt says it's supposed to be that way, and a lot of times isn't in a heterosexual relationship.
Like a team.
And that brings up a bigger issue that we can discuss at a later time. With just how relationships are supposed to work. And it's hard, and speaking from my perspective, it's hard. And I know from your perspective, it's hard as well. Another question to Anthony. Anthony, if you're still listening, this is for you. He wants to know, with having the kids, right? Mm-hmm. How do you're obviously in a relationship now, mm-hmm. but how do you go into either explaining it to them or integrating in your girlfriend into them and eventually becoming a family?
So, for me, that's a tough one because I think they have a feeling. I haven't really talked to them about it because...
Now, how old are you? Go if just for the viewers, how old are the kids?
7 and 3.
She has two twins.
7-year-olds and a 3-year-old. My girlfriend has a baby too. He's 1. So they know me as mommy, right? And like I've always been with their dad, and they know that type of relationship, right? So I feel like they have a feeling. I feel like they do. They've talked about gay. Like I don't know. Shit. It came out of nowhere. They just talked about gay.
We don't mean to interrupt Bria here, but we see the notifications currently. Honor has gifted 1.9 thousand diamonds, and we greatly appreciate that over here at the Dollar Menu. So Honor, that's not required. It's not necessary at all. But we definitely appreciate that. We just had to stop and show acknowledgement. We love you too, Honor, and I have a feeling your episode will be a good one. But moving.
Short-term memory loss. I don't remember where we were at.
Yeah, she does. She's a little jacked up in the head.
just much.
But going into like your integration, you said that the kids, they know. You think that they know.
Oh, yeah.
But like, what's your process for integrating another woman into their lives, and how do you go about that?
I feel like it's gonna be for me when I introduce them. They haven't been introduced yet.
I was just about to ask, have they been introduced yet?
They haven't been introduced yet. I feel like when I introduce them. My 7-year-olds are smart, and I feel like I could sit them down and explain it. And I feel like I said, they kind of have an idea, and I feel like their dad has put them onto some things, already. So I think I could have that conversation with them and they would acknowledge and understand what I'm saying. But I feel like it would be at first an introduction as a friend, like a close friend. So that's how I would personally start it, just because I don't know. I don't want to just bring it on them like, oh, hey.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah,
So I
absolutely.
think it would be like a close friend. And then as they see the love and, the things happen and we do things together as a family, stuff like that, like
Yeah.
if it comes to that point, they'll understand.
Now-
And it'll be a slow introduction.
So I got a question. Go ahead, Dave. Oh yeah, you might have to.
If I throw it on the table. Hello.
So now knowing that we grew up without our father around. Now that wasn't anything of nothing to do with anybody being straight or gay, whatever the situation may be. How do you now the twins and Nicholas? They have me obviously. Now they got Corey.
The twins and Nicholas. Ethan, Jackson, Nicholas. You didn't say their name. The twins and Nicholas.
Well, that just rolls off to Ethan, Jackson, and Nicholas.
EJ.
Yeah, EJ. I call the twins EJ, all right? They look exactly the same, besides like a freckle on their back. Anyways, so we grew up without a father, right? And me and Dave spoke about it on the last episode that I feel like some mental health issues that I've dealt with kind of spurred from not having that father figure. And now, do you feel moving forward, if you obviously if you decide to marry a woman or whatever the case may be, how do you feel? Do you think the lack of a father figure, I guess? Now again, you have the benefit of having myself and Corey, but do you think that'll with kind of guiding them on? I don't really know how to word it properly, but you know what I'm trying to get.
Yeah, I 100% get it. I feel like, and I don't want to say, what is that? Oh, did you see that on my head? Anyway, sure, dude. I feel like personally, I can do those things.
Yeah.
I like the boy things. Like, I'm getting my kids a go-kart. Like, I want to go. I taught them how to pee in the toilet. Like, there's things that I have done, and I feel like there should not be you need a dad to do this.
Yeah.
And we grew up, and you didn't need a dad to do the things you did. Yeah, it sucked, and you felt, the way you felt, but I feel like I can ensure my children grow up as respectable young men.
Okay.
Without a man around. And with the help of a partner. I feel like as long as you have a good head on your shoulders and you know how you want your children to be, you're going to raise them to be that way.
Okay.
And you don't need a man to be like, here, I could learn how to tie a tie and give my,
Right.
and teach
Yeah.
him I could teach him how to shave. I could do those things. I don't think a man dictates raising a boy. I really don't.
So I want to take a second. Dave from the Dollar Menu donated an ice cream.
like
I
ice
could
cream.
really use an ice cream right now. If anybody in the room wants to grab me an ice cream.
You have ice cream?
If Brooke bought ice cream, we have ice cream.
She said no.
She said no. I'll fuck myself.
Well, all right.
But Dave from the Dollar Menu, he's dropping some donations. I don't know. You don't have to do that, Dave. He's sitting right next to me.
Jelly Belly
He's got me his drink. Jelly Belly sent to Heart Me. We appreciate that. Honor.
That was on my head. It's like a video game.
I don't know how to tie a tie, Kurt. Not a good one, anyways.
I'll teach you.
So
I'll be your daddy.
now, that's weird.
That's weird.
That went way over. This is not a triple X site. You're not gonna
Click out.
see Step Bro shit in here, okay? And next.
I gotta go, bro.
Whoa.
Actually, this is over.
Yo, Dave, put your clothes back on. Oh,
my
ladies.
God,
What in the
I'm
world is
uncomfortable.
going on in
There's
here?
too many men here.
Yikes.
I'm uncomfortable.
Now, yes, this did escalate real quickly. Yikes.
I gotta go.
All right, so I got a question. So you said that, having the father figure doesn't really dictate how your kids grow up. But do you think that if our father was around, that you would be a different person? Now, you got to keep in mind, I look at this from a different perspective, obviously, because I'm a man.
Yeah.
And I feel like if I wasn't around for my son, I do feel like he would grow up, a little more on the feminine side. And I don't think that's not a bad thing. I just feel like,
What do you feel like?
when I look at our dad missing, like not being there.
Are you feminine?
No, I'm a grown ass. You know what I mean? I'm him. You know what I mean? Come, you see? Come on, let me
So
pull the bad
mommy
boys
raised
up.
you. You're not feminine.
Yeah, you're right, but Ma also had people around that kind of. I mean, I had to deal with Byron picking me up by my waist and beating the shit out of me.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So I kind of was.
All right.
I was kind of
life
pushed into
after
submission.
Byron, there was no daddies.
You're right, but I feel like, unfortunately, I was forced to, with everything that has been gone through, I feel like I was forced to grow up quicker than what I should have been. But I also didn't. I also didn't do it correctly. Yes, I was forced to grow up quicker than what I should have been as a kid, but I didn't do it the correct way. And I feel like you never had that college experience to go party, but I did. But it was kind of like backwards in a way. Like I grew up in high school and realized the situation that I was in, but then I hit a point where I like went back to middle school, if that makes sense, and I wanted to party and I wanted to put on a persona and be fake and somebody who I'm not.
That was Texas for me, in a way, minus the fake part because I learned myself. But that was Texas. So I reverted back to that party stage, and but my whole year was a big ass party. It was a big old something. But yeah,
we got Goblin Diesel says, got to show the support to some OG people. Hey, we appreciate that. We appreciate that a lot, and we appreciate you coming into the community. Dave, you're part of the family. So, but going back to it, I feel like if Vern, if he would have been around to maybe instill, it's not discipline, it's not anything, but it's just, I don't know, man. I feel like I felt like I was always reaching for something that I didn't understand.
I just wasn't really there.
Fortunately for me, with having Jaden, you know what I mean. Prior to Jaden, man, I was, and I'm not trying to make this about me, but prior to Jaden, I feel like I was just, the path that I was down was wild. And even the first couple years of having Jaden, I was still rough. And then I woke up one day and I realized, and we've had this conversation, I don't want to be like my dad. Everybody in this room knows you could leave my door right now, turn left, and walk 2 minutes up the street to my fucking dad's house. Bria works with the guy.
I work with the guy.
And I haven't seen him in months. You know what I mean?
He literally works up the street for me. He took me out for lunch like twice.
Yeah.
But it's like I could see him in passing, but like it's just one of those things.
It's weird, right?
I have no connection.
No, me neither.
He tries to build it, right? He tries to build.
Well,
for me, he has. He has tried with the whole taking me to lunch, and he got the boys that stupid.
Yeah, he got Jaden an RC car, and then what?
And he was like, "Oh, I want to see the kids," like all this stuff, right? And like he helped me. He built my bed in my house.
Yeah.
Like, he helped me with things, but then it stopped.
Yeah.
And he was gone, and I'm like,
why though? Like why? I invited him over here. I do. Everybody here knows I do cookouts like during the summer. I do cookouts like every 4 days in here. I always have somebody over. There's always something going on. Every time he was invited, and Davis, we appreciate it. Hey, your family as well, big dog. But like, I feel like if he would have been more active as a father, our outlook, how we turned out, would probably be different.
Yeah. Like me in my face. I'm sure you remember me wild and I was like 16, 17.
Oh yeah, for sure. Listen,
situations.
I had to roll up. There's a couple times I had to roll up in Kmart, straight some dudes out.
You remember the boardwalk thing?
Yeah, I remember the boardwalk thing. The only thing that saved her life is because my mom was like, no, don't go up there. I should have went the fuck up there, man.
Yeah, there were some things that probably wouldn't have happened if I had a father figure.
But do you think that would have affected ultimately
me being gay?
Yeah. I guess that was how the question started off.
I really don't know. I don't know because I didn't know when I was a kid. Yeah. So I don't know if that would have changed it. Oh, I mean, I know you did.
So, okay, going into that, right? I know everybody in here knows your most recent relationship, right? Yeah. Do you think that played a part in that? If you want to put it out, you can. I won't put your business out.
Mark?
Yeah.
Do I think it played a part in me being gay?
No, not so much just the decisions prior, without, I guess, the daddy issues is what you want to call it.
100%. 100%. 100%. I went to him for he offered support. He offered stability.
Now, if you take the kids out of it, because nobody ever regrets their kids unless you have some
Absolutely
serious
not.
problems.
Yes.
But so remove them from the situations.
Yes.
Do you regret?
Yes.
Yeah. So what?
Yes.
If you were to have an honest look at yourself in the mirror, you're looking at yourself in the mirror right now. Now this you know, I mean, this is this podcast here is, we're gonna have some good ones, we're gonna have some bad ones, and we're gonna have a lot of heartfelt ones, because that's what family is. But if you were to look at yourself in the mirror prior to Texas, what would you say to yourself about where you were in life? Like nobody else is in the room. You're speaking to yourself. What do you say?
About where I was.
Yeah. Do you love yourself? Are you proud of yourself? Are you proud of where you've gotten to?
So I have two different aspects on that, because I have my career.
Yep.
Because I could look at myself in the mirror and think about my career and be like, I did great.
Yeah.
I'm great. Like I have done a lot for myself, a lot for my family, a lot for my kids, to ensure that they will never have to worry. Now, if I went and I looked at myself as, well, at that time, 25-year-old female, I would want to go back. So I say it all the time, and like I don't want to, like, you know, hurt anyone's feelings or anything like that, but I love my children. But if I could go back and make a smarter decision in that moment, I would in a heartbeat.
And I don't think that's a wrong thing to say, right? Because, you know, we could talk with Brooke about prior to having Jaden, even while she was pregnant with Jaden. I'm sure Dave can talk with his ex. I'm sure Corey can go into it.
Yeah.
Jess has a little one here. Brooke, you don't have any kids yet, so we can't bring this up. But
Yeah.
we've all been in situations where it's like, I kind of wish that maybe I could hit the rewind button for whatever reason it is, and it's not because you don't like your kids or anything. That's
Right,
not
no,
what
no.
she's not trying to say. But in honor, I know you're the same. I know Kurt. I've seen a little bit of your background. Like, we've all done stuff where, man, maybe I wish I could go back.
Yeah.
So I understand what you're saying there. So prior to deploying, you went to WOC school. She went to Warrant Officer Candidate School.
Warrant Officer School.
And then boom, you get to Texas. Now
Boom, I get to Texas.
you find out that you like chicks. You swing all the way that way. Now
Yeah.
there's some shit that happened in Texas.
There's some shit that happened in Texas.
Now, why don't if you want to, again, you don't have to, but discuss a little bit of what happened in Texas. I know what happened in Texas, but from your perspective, if you were given a narration and telling me a quick synopsis of Texas, explain it.
All right.
Because it was a colorful. It was
very
it was
colorful.
it was colorful.
I was out there and I was in those streets. So I met a person. I met a female, and that person became a big part of my whole thing. Like I said before, all right. So if you look at me a year ago, you wouldn't see this. This was not me, right? I was very when I got to Texas, I was still, you know, the normal, how I dressed, how I looked, how I acted. This person adjusted that to their liking, right? So when I say baby gay, I mean, like, they were able to manipulate me however they wanted. So this person was able to make me how they wanted me to be. And because I was so new into all of that, I just went along with it. And I didn't think that anything was wrong with any of what was happening. So I just went with it. And I ended up being so manipulated by someone that's a seasoned lesbian. Let me just say, seasoned lesbian. I was baby gay meaning I just popped out in that moment. This was a seasoned lesbian who took me and used me in a way, I don't want to say she used me, but she used me to her own liking, and made me feel things when, you know, I was brand new, so I'm like feeling these things, and she'd make me feel like those things were real. And putting me in situations where I kind of had to, like, it was like a I was like fending for myself. I feel like my feelings and my emotions, they were thrown out the window because I allowed her to throw them out the window because I thought that that's how it was supposed to be. So I was in this role as a masculine presenting female with a feminine lesbian, and she took it and ran, and she just made me feel like I owed her things, and like I just had to do the things that she wanted and be the way she wanted me to be. So it led to a lot of mental health things. So this would be like into Justin's podcast before about, you know, mental health. My mental health went downhill, and aside from being in Texas, away from my family, all the work that I was doing, all the things that I was doing, my mental health decreased, and I started drinking like excessively, and I was filling that void. And I went to this girl to kind of help me get out of that hole that I was digging myself in, and she wouldn't show up. So it was just like, I don't know. I relied on her too much. She made me drink. She didn't make me drink, but I drank because I relied on her and I wanted her to make me happy. And she wouldn't make me happy, so I started drinking, and then I got happy. And it was just like an endless cycle. And I ended up becoming an alcoholic. Cheers.
Kurt, he's very proud of you.
Kurt, yeah, Kurt. Honor, Dave responded with, I'll look at that after this. Kurt, again, I appreciate you. I got your gamer tag, by the way. We appreciate it. Kurt, yeah, he's a chief. He actually said she's still at E6 right now. She's not.
No, I just got demoted.
Okay, she got demoted to E5.
I'm E5 now.
So you've got a new position. I won't throw your job out there or anything because that's, you know, I mean, that's personal, that's private. But you've got a new position, which is upgrade from what you were doing.
For sure.
So you're getting to the point here in a little bit where you're going to separate your civilian and are you going to separate your civilian
100%.
and your military?
I am getting out of the military because it is not good for my mental health.
Mm-hmm.
I have learned that it's not what I want. It's not. That deployment showed me a lot of things. It showed me poor leadership. It showed me lack of support from a unit. It showed me people that I relied on turning their backs on me when I needed them the most. Like, I went through a period of isolation, and I called out for help multiple times, and I was consistently turned down, and people that I cared about so much turned their backs on me. I ended up being an outcast in my unit.
Now, so let me go into that because we've talked about that. I know some of the people. Do you... with how things went, right? Because you did, we both know you got a little bit reckless in Texas. Mm-hmm. Have you in turn turned your back on those people?
No.
So they'll.
I kept looking for them to be there for me. I would never turn my back on someone, especially if they needed me.
But would you, those people, right? Would
Boop.
do you? Without them apologizing, do you forgive them? Because that's, you know, and for me personally, I've come across a lot of things in life where people will wrong you, for sure.
Yeah.
And you know they wronged you, and you know you're never going to get that apology, regardless if you were reaching out for help or, you know, it's just blatant disrespect. And as I've continued my growth personally, I've realized that some people you just gotta forgive.
Yeah.
I feel if they're worth it, if they deserve it. Yeah, after the statement, yeah.
So I feel like I can forgive.
Yeah.
But I won't forget it.
Okay.
And I still look at people differently. The people that they know who they are. There's people that I genuinely cared for and I thought would always be there, and they still are. But in that moment,
when you needed it,
when I needed it,
most.
I realized that not everyone's gonna fully be there for you. And like I was supported for a lot of it, and I don't want to like make whatever. I was supported through some of it, but when I was calling out for more support and it was it was there. If you look back on that time, if I look back on that time and I was an outsider, I would look at that person and be like, there's an issue here.
Yeah.
There's something wrong. This is not okay.
Yeah.
We need to get help for this person. Not just the standard, go to this class for a day, take this course, come back and you're fine. I needed more help.
So this kind of goes back into what we talked about, me and Dave, on the first episode with that support group, right?
Yeah.
It's not just you bring something up and you give them some type of government assistance,
that's
right?
exactly what they do.
You need to be very impactful in what you do in people's lives.
100%.
But Dave, we got Dave on the side. We're going to address some. It's easy for us to address TikTok comments right now until I can figure out how to get to Facebook. But Dave, we got some Facebook comments to address here.
Anthony says Bria, he's so proud of you. He's in tears.
Aw.
Which I think he speaks for a lot of us.
Yeah.
We're happy to be on this journey with you. But your Aunt Kathy says, Bria, she's so proud of you. You and the boys are amazing. And you will have the best life ever. She loves you.
Thank you, Aunt Kathy. I love you.
You're going to make me emotional.
Stop. I'll cry right now. I swear to God.
Anthony says I feel like you're missing your dad. Being loved by a mom and a woman made it a comfortable feeling for Bria to love a woman.
I could see that.
Oh, yeah, I could see that.
I could see that.
Jess says sometimes it's not about forgiving them, but it's about forgiving yourself and not realizing your worth sooner.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
No, for sure. I mean, I hate that it took this long for me to find myself.
Support everything you're doing.
I'm not sure if you guys heard through the mic, but Aunt Kathy, Bria definitely appreciates that with your comments. Anthony, I know you're listening in, and man, it's crazy when you actually take a second to reflect back at what has happened to get you to where you're at.
Oh, for sure.
Again, this is reverting back to this podcast with everybody that's going to be on here is going to bounce all over the place. We're going to be a very diverse cast because we want to bring the gays in. We want to bring in the blacks, the whites, the Spanish, everybody. Doesn't matter your background. Doesn't matter what you went through. Doesn't matter if you have had intentions of self-harm. Doesn't matter if you want to hate everybody and just disappear. This community that we're all trying to build. And as this continues going, there's going to be people on here. It's going to bounce around, but I will never give up on this podcast. I've seen the impact that it's made already.
Yeah.
This episode, we're already at 44 minutes, but I have so many more questions to ask, so we're probably going to go over here a little bit.
Stay. We're here for a long time, not a good time.
But Anthony, I went over to help Anthony. He's this is taken away from the my sister's topic, but that was just kind of the opening here. My cousin Anthony, we talked a little bit before because I was helping him with with his weapon, and we had a little short conversation about the impact of the first episode. Mm-hmm. And Anthony, I'm not going to throw your business out there. That's not my place to do that. But the impact that I've seen, even if it's on one person, and it's been on more than one, this Dollar Menu podcast will never go anywhere. These hard conversations will be had, good conversations will be had, and it's all because of the feedback that I've gotten. There's so many people already that have been touched by that mental health podcast, and as me and my sister get further in this podcast, I look forward to reaching out and touching, even if it's just one person.
For sure. No, for sure. This is great.
And this is a community. My sister, Dave, my brother will be on. This is going to be a community that we're going to build together, and we're going to grow, and we're going to be something special that makes an impact. Damn, thrown off.
You're gonna make me cry.
Well, here I'm going to go into it because you know what we're and it's with people that are watching as well, right? This for sure is a journey, and you got to think of where you're at in life, however old you are. Everything that you've went through has shaped you and has guided you into the person that you are, whether it's good or bad. Mm-hmm. But one thing that I can say for me to you that, I see, and I'm going to get emotional here, but it's been inspiring for me is, I've seen your growth throughout the years. Me and you have always been close.
Yeah.
You're an idiot, but you're definitely, I'm close to you. You know, and you know I love you to death, and I haven't said it in a long time, but I'm proud of where you've gotten. I'm proud of the mother that you are. It's easy to forget sometimes when you're sitting by yourself, because there was times where I was mad at you.
I know.
Sitting back in the yard, or I'd get a call, and I was
I know.
I was talking shit on you
I know.
because I was, what the hell is this bitch doing? Is what was going on in my head.
For sure. No.
But I've seen you at the bottom of the barrel, and you have clawed your way. I ain't gonna say you're at the top, because to say you're at the top, we're all lying to ourselves, because none of us are ever gonna get there. However, you are climbing to the top, and I'm proud of the moves that you're making, and I want you to keep making. Just always know there was a time where you didn't really come to me about too much, but always know that no matter what you go through, I will always be there. And I know Corey over here, Corey will always be there for you. You know, we're all in a situation right now, and Sydney as well. I don't know if Sydney's watching. Sydney, you know, she's another one that she's my youngest sister. And doing this podcast is making me realize that I need to do some things better as a brother. It's easy for me to reach out to Bria because me and her with the military, she's my true 100% sister. We both have the same dad, same mother. And it's easy to relate because of everything that we have in common. But I stress I stress you, Bria, as well, Corey, and everybody watching, to do better, to reaching out to your family and close friends. I know Sydney's going through a lot. We've talked about it. Corey, our brother, has went through a lot. And it's important. And I'll be the first to admit that I've lost myself along the way, which reaching out to family members, because it's too easy to say, F it, not my problem. But doing this show has made me realize that'll never happen again.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's that emotional bit, at least for me anyways.
You can't make me cry. I'm stone cold.
I'll break your ass if I really want to.
I know you can. You gotta say one word. I'll start crying.
Don't mess around with me. I'll break that ass. I'll
guys.
break you. My brother's crying.
I love you guys.
He's over here doing his fucking poems and shit. God damn, I'm sweating.
Yeah, I'm sweating too. Good Lord.
Damn.
All right, so
no.
I got another question from Anthony for you, because I remember those, Anthony, if you heard it.
You got, at least you don't got short-term memory loss.
Nah, not yet.
That should be out.
Shit, you just made me forget.
See it rubbing
Now,
off
see, I'm
on people.
all jacked up here. We got any comments from Facebook that we can?
Bria, I met
Yeah, go
you
ahead.
Oh, that's honor. Bria, I
Yeah,
met
go.
you as a teenager, and to watch how much you changed and grew, you are wonderful. Thank you, Honor. I know you've seen a lot. You've been a good supporter.
So Sydney's in there. Hey, Sydney, just we don't say it enough, but we love you and we're proud of. I mean, me and you have gotten into some beef,
We all have with her.
for
She's
sure.
a Gemini. She's evil.
but we love you and we're here for you always.
She's evil.
Yeah. Snatched her up out of the pool.
Yeah. Yeah, yo, I remember that.
Man. Okay, yeah, so I got it. So sparked it. So obviously we're living in a world, right? And I'm not getting political here, right? But now that Trump has won the election, I have been seeing personally, we're not going to talk about Trump or politics, but I've seen a lot of people, more so from the LGBT,
PQRS,
that community, the alphabet community.
Yeah,
It's not
yeah.
a disrespect here. We're just,
There's a lot of letters.
she could say it, all right?
There's a lot
It's
of
kind of like
letters.
the N-word, you know what I mean? We can say it, you can't. She's gay, she can say it. The alphabet community, I can't.
Yo.
Anyways,
Yo. Okay.
so all these people, regardless if you agree or disagree, right? Again, we're going to be neutral here. A lot of people are up in shambles about Trump winning the election. What would be your advice to people that if they feel this fear to come out, like, what would be your advice on how to navigate being gay, I guess? Especially to those people now that it seems like we're in an era of fear when it comes to that, because it's a real thing. And, I'll say I'm a Trump supporter, but I'm not ignorant to people's feelings and their fears. And we've spoken previously, she's not a Trump supporter, whatever, no big deal. But she has navigated her way through coming out. So what would be your advice to people, especially now more than ever, that could potentially help them and stop them from self-harm, really, because that's
Yeah.
really the biggest
There's
consequence
a
of
lot
it
going
all.
on. There's actually a lot of that going on. You know, there's a lot of the community is they're terrified. Just with kind of some of the things that have been put out in the administration, and there has been deaths.
Yeah.
There's been deaths because people are that afraid of the future with Trump as president. And so for me personally, I mean, just stay strong. Like, if you truly fear your life and you truly fear things that are going to happen, we just have to stay strong and we have to come together as a community and just support each other. People taking their lives over this it's so sad. And I saw things, and there's a lot. Like, since he was elected, there has been a lot of deaths.
Yeah.
And as a community, we need to support one another. We need to not let this get to us. We need to not let it take more lives.
Yeah.
We need to talk to each other. We need to band together as a community, because that's what we are. LGBTQ, RSTVWXYZ is a community. And we just all need to be together and just don't let it get to us like that. I mean, personally, I'm not afraid.
Right.
You know, I don't have those fears because I feel like I'll shoot someone. Like, I don't care. Like, if someone's gonna come at me, I'm gonna come at them. Like, I don't care. But we have to be a community. That's all I got.
I think it's important too. Again, right. I think the problem in this country, and it boils down to everything, regardless of who you support, regardless of your gender, creed, background, all of that stuff, is there's way too much division, right? Now, again, politically, believe what you want, right? But I think we need to get to the point where you don't have the alphabet community separating themselves, right? Yeah. I think it's important where people are just supporting people.
Yeah.
And I feel like we'll get so much further ahead. You know what I mean? We'll probably never get there because that's just not how the world
happen. And that's the thing. It's just there is separate groups. Like, it's like high school. There's cliques, right?
There's cliques.
So
and you know what?
Members of this clique aren't going to accept the LGBTQ or CVWXYZs.
There's dudes. I don't mean to. There's dudes that commented on my sister's introduction to the podcast clip on TikTok. One said, "This is gay." Right? Okay,
gay.
cool. Very fair, right? I responded with a rainbow flag. You're on to something, but get the Cheetos off your fingers, pal. Secondly, there's another person that said it was a waste of time to talk about this. And the reason why I'm targeting, I hope they are watching Cheeto Boy. But he said that it was a waste of time to watch this, right? And you know, honestly, if you would have caught me probably 5-6 years ago, I probably would have said, yeah, you know, F that community, because I was really before I have educated myself, I did have that bias. You know, everybody. I mean, I remember growing up, you're dropping the F bomb, and not the FUCK F bomb, but the other one, and you talk down on that community. I'm guilty of that. I did that in the past. And then I grew up and I realized what life really is.
Yeah.
But it really hit me hard because he said it's a waste of time to discuss coming out in sexual orientation. There's some stuff that I don't agree with in that community. But there would never be a time in my life where I'm like, your life doesn't matter. You know what I mean?
I just want to jump in and just crack 7,000 likes.
7,000?
Lit.
Jesus. Well, wow, 7,000 likes. We appreciate that.
Yeah,
Goodness
that's
gracious.
Wow.
7.1, still growing.
Awesome.
We definitely appreciate it. And again, every topic is worth discussing if it's going to help somebody stay alive. And again, this conversation has kind of trickled into mental health a little bit. Mm-hmm. And that's something that we will always revert back to. We'll throw our sports podcast in. We'll throw probably some military talk in there. We'll throw all types of stuff in there. But there will always be an episode about mental health every
It's
now and
important.
again.
It's important to talk about. It should be talked about 24/7. Honestly, it's not talked about enough.
No, it's definitely
It's
not.
It's downplayed a lot.
And you still have those people commenting, saying stuff like that.
Exactly. And
Just
then
because.
what if you have someone saw that right in the ABCD EFGs, and they saw that comment, and that was it for them.
Right. Yep. And
We're not enough to talk about.
And that's the thing. That's the type of comment. You're a person at the end of the day.
Yep.
You're loved at the end of the day. You have a family at the end of the day.
Yeah, so I'm not-
you do mean something.
Right.
You don't just mean something. You mean a lot.
Yeah.
And for people to be out there to say stuff like that, we're at the dollar menu again. We're not gonna all agree on everything, but we can have that conversation and be open about it and discuss it and be civil. Because guess what? She's a person. I'm a person. Dave's a person. Everybody in this room is a person, and you're all important.
Yeah.
Goblin Diesel says, when it comes down to it, everybody has the same feelings
Yeah.
on the inside. You got to be caring to everybody.
Yeah.
That's my boy
For sure.
Jackson. He's a big supporter. He shares it a lot. He's a foot soldier for us, and we appreciate the support.
Jackson, yeah, Goblin Diesel. We appreciate that. Go ahead, Bree. I'll let you take over for Kurt there.
Unfortunately, been there. As Justin knows, I will fight every day for mental health. For
Yep.
sure. For sure. I mean, I'm a big supporter because I'm going through it myself. I
Yep.
have, I'm dealing with the things. I'm going through things. The VA is very helpful. They have a lot of resources. Definitely throw that out there for military.
Yeah,
at least.
talk about that real quick because a lot of people feel, and I know it's true to a certain degree, but a lot of people feel like for veterans, and this is kind of getting away from people that aren't in the military, but I believe this is important.
Yeah.
People feel like there's no support out there for veterans.
No.
From your perspective, just dive into that a little bit.
So for me, I had a lot of issues within the last year. I had things that had happened that really, kind of messed up my life. I'm not gonna lie, but I went to the VA. I was brought to the VA actually because this was a situation that had happened. I was brought to the VA. I was what do you call it when you get put in? What is it?
Committed.
Committed. I was put in there.
Yeah.
And I was surrounded the next day, like this was at night, so the next day I was surrounded by people with all these solutions, or all these options, I shouldn't say solutions, to help me. Because I had just kind of laid it all out there, everything I was going through, mental health, how I felt, things I was going through, my issues, all that stuff. And I had doctor after doctor, I had therapists, I had just regular people giving me advice. Like, they were just coming in to talk to me, telling me about all these things, because one of my issues was I didn't want to be here. I went through a phase where I didn't want to be here, and I made it known to them, and they came to me saying, "We want you here." And the support that I received, I'm still receiving. I'm still going through. There's a group called O-Star, which is it's like outpatient substance something whatever, because I was diagnosed as an alcoholic. So I went through this, and I have a whole family in this group that I can talk to and I could tell things to, and they support me through all of my issues. Like, I have literally, my life has been kind of crazy the last like 6-7 months. I've been going through some things. Mm-hmm. And I lay it all out there, and they are there to support. They have advice. They talk to me. This one, my one therapist literally said, "Day or night, call me." They're there. You just have to want it. And I know it's hard to want it when you're in that mental state and you're in that zone where you don't want to reach out for help, but you have to. They'll do anything for you. They literally will. They'll be your biggest supporter.
So that's it. I mean, again, we're in a time right now where there's a lot of hate on veteran assistance, which some of it is warranted, some of it is not. But I think really what it all boils down to is, again, similar to what we talked about in that first episode, this Dollar Menu podcast and the people that are closest to you, you need to reach out to them. Yeah. They will be there, and again, look out to those, because those people, I didn't know that much assistance, and I'm full time in the National Guard, and now I just had people come back from a deployment in my unit, and there's going to be people that have dealt with issues. you know how deployments go. You leave for 9 months, shit is bound to go bad. And now I can now provide that information to people that are going to be going through it. So that's valuable.
It is.
Jaden said hi. What's up, little man?
What's up, my guy?
Man, this was this was definitely a good one.
Yeah.
This was definitely a good one.
I like that. We should do a part 2.
Part 2? We could do a part 57. We run this shit.
I think my sister. What was it? My sister likes chicks part 2. How about that?
She was like chicks part 2. Well, what more do you want to go into about that? Like,
I feel like I don't know.
I do want to hit Facebook.
Yeah, go ahead.
Brandon said we all need to come together, respect her for getting on and speaking up. We need to be a country, not a community.
Yeah.
So Brandon said on Facebook that we need to come together, be a country, not a community. Is that what you said? Be a country, not a community. What's his Brandon? Who?
Brandon, her brother.
Your brother?
Yep.
What's his last name?
Bigland.
Bigland?
Yep.
Brandon Bigland. We appreciate that comment. Appreciate you stopping in as well. But that's very valuable.
Needs to be a larger group.
Yeah.
Yeah, when you think about it, right?
It should be a group. We should all be one.
Right. It should be. Dave just said a valuable point. We should all be one, because a lot of people say you need to build a good community, and that's what we're trying to do here at the Dollar Menu Podcast. Right? Is build a community. However, a community is segregated from other communities. So I think the goal, what he's trying to get to. Yeah. No, absolutely. So I think what he's trying to get at is that that community needs open borders.
Yeah.
And that's very valuable. Go ahead.
Personal.
I mean, that's fair.
Oh no, we need borders, just not in the community.
All right. Next question.
Go ahead. Too soon.
Caitlin Loftus.
Oh, go ahead.
This woman I know. Proud.
I love you, Loftus.
Since your first podcast last week, I'm realizing I gotta check in with friends more and more. We love you, Bria.
Thank you, Loftus. You know Loftus.
Yeah, I know Loftus. Yeah, Loftus. That is what we're trying to do here. Again, this podcast is going to bounce all over the place because we want to be absolutely everything. But that to us, that is very valuable for you to say that, it's making you realize that you need to reach out to people more. That right there, and I know I can speak for you.
On that too.
No, I can speak for Dave. That right there is so valuable because that means that what we're trying to build here, and this isn't just us, this is everybody. What we're trying to build is making a difference. Even if this doesn't become anything special. Yeah, if it's just those 10 people, and it's not even that it doesn't become anything special, because what we are already done, that right there in itself is already special. So thank you. That for me is going to kind of motivate me here moving forward.
For sure. Oh, that's great.
Anthony says, do you feel like assuming the role of the man in relationships gives you any challenges outside the normal?
Oh yeah.
Ooh, that's a good one.
Yeah.
No,
So
that's
what?
a good one. All right.
Yeah. So let me. So so Anthony said, does assuming the role of a man in a relationship
challenges outside of the normal
bring you any additional challenges outside the normal? That's so before you go into that, what role are you? Or is it just
We're partners.
no? But are you like there's got to be, right? Doesn't there got to be like a more?
I'm the more masculine presenting female.
Okay. All right. So then go into Dave.
Yeah. So all right. So the role thing, I think is actually really funny because people think there has to be a man, female, and a woman, female.
That's me. I thought that.
Right. That's not the case. So you know me.
Yeah.
You know me. I don't like bugs. I'm not gonna kill your bugs. I probably won't take the trash out. I'll clean.
Hold on. You can't say that because I don't like bugs either.
Okay, but I'm saying like you're gonna kill a bug for your girl.
No.
All right, never mind.
She's gonna vacuum it.
She's gonna back.
So that doesn't work. That doesn't count here. That does not count
Oh
here.
my God.
That doesn't count here. So that doesn't work.
All right, time out. Anyway, what I'm saying is, so
You fucking think I'm gonna kill a bug?
I'm not killing. I'm gonna run the fuck away. What are you talking
Yeah,
about?
me too.
I'm in a
So
different.
does make me less of a man?
I will disappear.
Anyways, yeah. No, go ahead. I won't interrupt.
Yeah, like I'm trying to say things. I can't even say things. That's some crazy things.
does being the role of the man
I'm not a man. So
well, it's because you said masculine.
I'm a masculine presenting
I think that's what he's
female.
talking about, yeah.
So when I say masculine presenting, it is my appearance.
Okay.
it does not affect like what I do. I'm still a female. I still like girl things. I like flowers. I like to go on dates. I like pink. Like, I just dress like a boy. And me and my partner, we will equally do the man things. Like, I might do a little bit more than her or something like that. But it's just, I don't know. We're equal. We don't do the things. Why are you yelling?
Excuse me, we have your house surrounded.
We gotta work on this studio. Listen. If anybody has a couch, all right, we need a couch and some single chairs and some tables so we can get an actual studio around here. All right, we're in my living room here.
Oh my god!
But
The
listen, all
commentary
right,
is
we
crazy.
upgraded though. We got a green screen. All right, we
Yeah.
ain't got my kids' pictures fucking behind us anymore.
One more final point to hit on Facebook since we're in overtime here.
Don't
Yeah.
worry about the overtime. You counting down my minutes.
Sydney, I thought you said Cotton. I said, oh, no.
Oh,
Sydney
All right.
says, hey, let's get me on and talk about my 15 kids. We need Maury for that one.
Yo, yeah. Jerry Springer type shit.
Goblin. I will go to Salvation Army, but my problem is, you know what I mean. I ain't trying to run into bed bugs and stuff like that.
Goblin is a huge supporter of ours.
Sydney says that we need to get her on and talk about her 15 kids.
You got one on the way yet?
The welfare
I know you
podcast
just
will be
popped-
coming
Oh,
soon.
welfare podcast is crazy. Oh my god.
It's Sydney.
Yeah,
All right,
that's
we'll
true.
get you going.
I don't think
I don't
Goblin
know.
deserves a lot more credit. He's been a foot soldier, him and Dan.
Yeah,
We appreciate the support, the footwork.
yeah. So I think what we're gonna start doing here, people that show like overwhelming support, because I could see that with the TikTok live data. I think what I'm gonna do, prior to the next episode, I'm gonna create what's called the Wall of Fame, I'll call it.
Ooh, that's
And
cool.
what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take everybody's names and I'm gonna edit it. It might not be for the next podcast because that's gonna take a little bit of work, but I'm gonna have it set so it's on a loop and it's gonna rotate through everybody that is showing support.
That'd be cool. That'd be real cool.
I'll take your profile picture or whatever the case may be, because it's, going through this last week and now this week, it is a little difficult to try to monitor comments and stuff like that. But I hope that you understand that we really do appreciate you stopping in. But I think that even adding that in, or if I could somehow, I know I can add it behind me, maybe on the Dollar Menu podcast, I think that I can add in people that show participation, to show
Just
that
have it
little
like
bit
a
of appreciation.
stream
Yeah.
like I brought the other day.
Jackson, Kurt, naturally.
Yeah, just know that everybody that's sitting in, we appreciate it, like wholly from the bottom of our hearts. This community is going to grow. The production's going to get better. I mean, hell, from last week to this weekend, again, it's something small, but we got a green screen. I don't even know how to operate a green screen, but thank
Well, you
God for
operated it
ChatGPT. Good Lord.
Good Lord. Have mercy.
Let's see here. I'm trying to think. Anthony asked me another question,
Send it.
too.
Send it. Ask me
man.
some crazy stuff. Oh, she goes, man.
No,
stuff.
it wasn't.
Oh, Honor said.
Yeah, go ahead.
She goes, I feel like that's so, what's a word? Wrong with the world. Like, a woman should be able to do man stuff.
Okay. So I think we should get into that here a little bit.
I'm down with it.
Um,
Yo, my glasses.
I don't.
glare.
I believe that there's gender roles to a certain degree. All right. But I don't think that takes away from what a woman can do. I think that's very important to distinguish that, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, I do certain things with the household, and then I have Brooke who handles certain things in the household, right? But I don't think that, man, it's
Would
tough.
you ever reverse that?
Motherfucker, if I could sit, yes. We ain't gonna get into it. Yes,
I'm cracking up.
I'll cook.
Anyway.
But
See,
I
that's the
thi-
thing, though. So my partner,
Yeah.
like, I won't cook. Like, I will eat chicken nuggets every day. And she knows that. I will literally feed my children and myself chicken nuggets and probably live off ramen and hot sauce for the rest of my life. But she'll cook. She cooks.
Kurt says his wife has to do the stuff I normally do at the moment since I can't. See, and that's
So she
important, right?
can,
I
yeah.
think so. I think that ideally, you'd want a little bit of the gender role. Ideally, in a relationship, you want because you want the man to be a man, and you want the woman to be the woman. In same-sex relationships, I do still believe that.
There's one that is a little.
Yeah, there's one that would fit a certain.
All right, so I
criteria.
can agree with that. So for me personally, I'm a just like random situation. I will build the couch. Like, I don't expect her to do that. I will do
so
that.
you kind of assume you're not assuming it.
But she's
just,
too pretty to do that shit.
You know? Just how you are.
Yeah.
I don't know. I've never met her.
Yeah, I know you have.
She's watching?
Yeah, probably.
What's her name?
Emily.
Emily?
Yeah.
Where she live?
New York.
This is New York, Emily?
Yeah.
New York, Emily.
New York, Emily.
Pennsylvania ain't far. And I haven't met you yet?
She travels a lot.
Well,
she's like me.
you may be too pretty, but
She's a nomad.
you can get these hands.
I will shoot you.
But I think that you can't shoot. I've seen your qual.
You want to pull it up? I got the memory.
Yeah, mine's better.
I got the memory.
Anyways, I think it's important to have some type of gender role, but at the same time, that doesn't mean that the other person is not capable of doing it. Like I could cook. Listen.
All right, she could build a couch. I just don't want her to. You know.
Brooke, do you want me to cook?
Oh,
she wants me to cook, but I'm not going to.
Yeah, no.
I'm just saying I can throw down though.
You can cook.
I can. You know, everybody in this room knows I can cook.
Jason Labo says,
Jason Labo.
Kansas City blows.
Labo.
And he says Taylor Swift is their best player.
I'm cracking
So
up.
my buddy Labo, I've known him for a long time. Undefeated. Yeah, he's Tommy's cousin. Yeah. Dave here knew Tommy. But going back to the Chiefs, they're undefeated, and Taylor Swift is worth $1 billion. So,
I mean,
I don't know who your team is, but they ain't shit. Yeah, but yeah, I think there should be some gender roles there. But again, I don't think it's not a bad thing for somebody to assume the other side. I mean,
it's not bad at all. I just don't think it should be normalized that there has to be a man in a lesbian relationship.
And I can see that because a lot of people always ask, who's the man? Who's the dude?
Who's the man? At the end of the day, she wears the pants. I mean, I just listen. I'm a little. Go ahead, say what you want. I'll do it.
Is that her, Emmy? Who's Emmy?
Yeah.
That's your
her.
girl? You can't build a couch?
I definitely can't build a couch, by the way. I'll build it, don't worry.
She'll build it. I'll break that shit.
What did she say?
Emmy for the win.
Oh, yeah.
Anthony has...
Come on,
so I'm going to backtrack. This isn't the thing that Anthony said. And, I'm not going to say too much here, but I was in a conversation at some point in the last couple of days where somebody very close to me has brought up that they felt like they had nobody to go to. They felt like they didn't have any avenues of escape. And Anthony made me realize this because we were just talking about some things, and it reverted me back to somebody that I won't mention her name, but I was talking to, and they felt they had stuff going on, and they felt like they had no avenues of approach. If you know me, you know Bria, you know anybody a part of the Dollar Menu podcast, you always have somebody to reach out to. So do not ever think that you have nobody. Mm-hmm. Whether it's because you're just dealing with stuff, mental health issues, whether you're trying to navigate your way through the alphabet community, and as we keep going forward, life is going to constantly evolve, and we're here for you.
Alphabet community.
10,000? We got to get off before 10,000. So do you have a final thought though?
A final thought?
Yeah, about the podcast, about the life, and what you could even talk about the future of the show.
I think that this is going to be great for all of us, honestly. I think that this is a great avenue to let things out and to, like, kind of get feedback for it, right?
Yep.
So, like, me talking about, I've never talked about this.
Yep.
I have never actually sat down and talked about my journey, how it started, how I felt during it, nothing. I never had the situation to sit down and talk.
She said it's kind of like therapy.
Like therapy, yeah. We're having like a group therapy session, and there's no judgment here. And I could just, we just let it out. We could say what we want and get feedback.
Yep.
Yeah, that's literally what we are doing right now. We're just talking. So I feel like this is gonna be great. There's gonna be a lot of topics I feel coming up that we can
That's awesome.
talk about. There's gonna be so much stuff. There's so many topics. Like I could name like 5 right now that we could just sit down and talk and have a discussion.
Yeah.
We could. Oh my God, we could literally sit here all night and talk about something. Like we could just bounce off of each subject and just keep going. We have like a bunch of us here and just like, heck yeah. I think it'll be great. I really do think this is great. I enjoy being here today. I am so happy I got to do this. Talk about my gayness.
Yeah.
It's good. It's real good.
I think it's important too for everybody watching. Like this isn't, my sister. Obviously, I thought that this would be a good topic because she came out, and for me, I kind of use it as a segue to because I've never had this conversation.
We never talked
with my sister.
No one's ever talked. I've never talked about this with anyone. So congratulations.
Goblin says if anybody needs an open ear to let things out, more than welcome to message me. Y'all's lives are valuable. Your dad just joined? Dave Sr. We appreciate you stopping by. Your son is a part of a community and a brand that we're going to make a difference. So, we're all going to make a difference here. And this is everybody watching. This podcast is going to bounce all over. But the biggest thing is that we all come together. As far as closing remarks for me, this was eye-opening for me because I got to sit and ask questions about stuff that
we don't normally talk about.
Yeah, that we've never talked about.
I come over, we don't talk about this.
Yeah,
stuff.
no,
it was very good.
Always talk about some bullshit, and I think that's going to help us too as a family. That's everybody here.
Get together, yeah. Learn each other.
Right, and because we've been really open.
We have
the first episode, and this episode.
Yeah, I'm an open book. I could talk about all the things. I don't care. It's getting to know me, getting to know our viewers, getting to know you guys. Like this is good because like we're brother and sister, right? But do we really know each other?
No, you go from living in the same house. You go from living in the same house to now like you live 45 minutes away from me. You know what I mean? So how can I truly know you?
Exactly.
We don't talk 24 hours. Yeah, we sit and bullshit every now and again.
We know things and stuff.
Yeah. That's it.
But so we're learning deeper into our thoughts and how we, feel about each other. So it's
crazy.
It's crazy.
It's crazy.
I'm telling you.
It's crazy. This podcast was made in a car driving home.
I'm cracking up. I'll never forget when you said I'm making a podcast. You want to be on it? I was like, bet.
In a car with now it's been something that's always been talked about, but we just never actioned.
Yeah.
And then I was just sitting. I had a conversation, and I'm going to shout him out. His name's Captain McCabe. He's like, dude, you just need to do it. And then I drove home, and I was doing the whole texting and driving thing.
Illegal.
Yeah, it's definitely illegal. And the Dollar Menu podcast popped into my head. And I think what makes the name of this podcast so valuable is we're all broke bitches around here.
All right, let me ask you a question.
Yeah, ask it.
What's your favorite Dollar Menu snack?
Snack? Like at a restaurant?
McDonald's.
McDonald's don't have a Dollar Menu anymore. We're the only Dollar Menu left.
What the fuck?
We are the Dollar Menu now.
We're the Dollar Menu.
We are the Dollar Menu.
What kind of snacks do we got?
Like here right now?
Yeah.
I got some snacks in here.
We need some snacks. We need Dollar Menu snacks.
Yeah, hats and shirts are coming. I'm going to be doing a giveaway. It's going to be very limited until it's going to grow. It's going to grow. Now that
you get a hat.
Now that I see the impact that this has made, it's for sure going to grow, and we want to spread this. And everybody watching, we're going to make it like Kurt. We can like this podcast. Either you can come to us, or we can come to you.
That'd be dope.
Goblin, this is being run off of my laptop right now. You can join in. Like we're going to get to the point where we're traveling, and we're involving you, the viewer, and now you're becoming a part of the brand, and that's the goal. Right? Sure, we want everybody to watch and comment and like, but the ultimate goal is one day when we're able to, because we will, this brand will get to the point where we can travel, and you guys are going to have an episode for yourself on the Dollar Menu podcast.
Yeah, for sure.
You're going to be a part of something, and you're going to have a chance to talk about whatever it is you want to talk about. You're going to be able to reach out and touch somebody and potentially change their life. So look forward to that.
Yeah.
We're going to call it. We're in overtime.
Yeah, we're in overtime. I want overtime pay.
I'm broke.
I just wanna.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
I just want to say one thing.
Go ahead. Say it.
Emily, I love you.
Emily, she loves you.
She loves you, Emily.
That's on. That's 12,000 likes on TikTok that have just been involved here for that. On TikTok alone, we have 11 concurrent viewers.
She goes, I love you, mamas.
I love you, mamas.
That's my baby.
Hey, girl.
Hey, girl. Hey.
You better act right.
Yo, let me get your number. Yo.
But we appreciate you all for stopping in here.
One more time. Yeah, my dad. I'm happy he's here.
Yeah, go ahead. Here, Dave. Dave Jr. is a member of the Dollar Menu podcast, and I'm not going to put none of his business out here because it's not my place to do so. However, his father is in watching this podcast right now. So, Dave, I want you to come in and you could talk to your dad for a second because that is the purpose of this podcast. So, take them goddamn shades off.
Oh my God.
Dad, real quick, Dad. I love you. I'm happy you're here. Thank you. That means the world to me and us. Thank you very much. We love all you guys, and we're happy that we're all here, and
The camera kind of.
we're all the family. That's all right. That's
Good
okay.
boy.
I'm a big bag.
We
You
were.
are a
I
big
was helping
guy.
out from the background, and that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna bounce back and forth from production to visuals. So, but Dad, thank you very much. If you guys could follow him, my dad, Dave's House. He's pretty active on TikTok for an old head, but he's learning his way through. But damn. We did it. Yeah, we did. 12,000 likes,
If you
guys.
see me and you want to
This
say
was an
what's
emotional
up.
ride. You guys were great. We love you guys more than any of you could ever imagine. Bullshit. We're going to have a good time. We're just going to converse
Look at
and
me.
share
She's talking
stories,
about her.
some horror stories, and go from there. But
They gonna
Dad,
be
that
friends.
means it's more than you know to me. Thank you very much. I love you. I love you, Dad.
I love you all. What he say?
From us here at the Dollar Menu,
Good night.
we appreciate
think
you
that's
stopping
it.
in.
It was
And
nice
good
to
night.
be here. Bye.
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 Bye. Mine's better.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Puppy.
Whoa!
Yep, that's the one.
Yeah.
We both had Puerto Ricans, bro. We know.
That's a clip, dude. That's a clip.
That's an